The next thing we got to look at is every cell has got to get rid of its waste. Now, nobody spends enough time on this. The medical doctors, our research, but we've got to get the waste out of the cell. When I look at the cell of people who eat the wrong foods, they don't exercise, they don't drink enough water, I see a substance starts forming in there called lipofuscin. I call it the aging pigment, because if it starts accumulating in the cell, then the enzymes can't get within the cell to do their work. It's like the car in the garage principle. If you got so much waste in your garage, you can't get your car in there. Well, this is what happens. If we don't get this waste out, this lipofuscin out, then we're going to age much quicker. The DNA tells us that most cells will divide about 50 times during your life. And if you've got all this waste in there, then what's going to happen is this division is going to be shortened. If you get rid of the waste, you can add 12 to 15 years of quality life to your cells if you'll get rid of this waste. See how important this waste is? I bet many of you have never heard this before. But the waste is the key. Now, there are 3 ways you get rid of waste. First of all, lipo means what? Fat. You can't eat so much fat. You got to tell your patients to quit eating so much fat. Number 2, exercise's greatest benefit is it gets rid of the waste in the cell because it carries it out. The third thing is you got to have proper hydration. Hydration. You've got to drink water. I recommend you drink a water that has a pH of 7.4 high, because that's what your pH of your cell is. We have some waste, I call it wastewater, but we have tap water in Waco that actually was 6.1 when I tested it. Now that'll eat the dye out of your shirt, or maybe even eat the shirt off your back if you kept it in there long enough. That is an acid. So you should try to get water that has the proper pH controlled in it. So that's the way you can get rid of your waste. Now, let's move to the enzymes roles in digestion. The key digestive enzymes are your lipases will break down your fats. Your proteases will break down your proteins. Your amylases will break down your carbohydrates. Proteases will not break down a carbohydrate. It only breaks down the protein. So you've got to have all 3 of those enzymes. That's what your small intestine and your stomach and your digestive tract produces enzymes that break your food down. I think, unless you're an Eskimo, you ought to take a digestive enzyme with every meal that you eat. I studied the Eskimos. They're the only people in the world that eats all their food raw. It was the coldest study I've ever been in. These people do not eat any fruits or vegetables. What they eat is the enzymes from their plants. From their animals, like the seal, the fish, the polar bear. In fact, the polar bear liver is a very delicacy among those people. And if they like you, they'll give you a piece of liver to chew on. That was the worst tasting stuff I ever ate in my life. Sometimes the polar bear eats them to get their enzymes. Okay. It's an enzyme world. Okay. So, we need some digestive enzymes to break our foods down. We need a good probiotic to really keep that good bacteria in our colon. We're not eating the right foods, and it's changing the bacteria in our colon from the good bacteria to the bad. I think you need to educate the people that you sell these things to and talk to them about those 3 things that every cell has to have.